elaborate tunnels dug with spoons, daring helicopter rescues, or scaling walls under a moonlit sky. But few are as bizarre or ingenious as the escape orchestrated by a man who mailed himself out of prison. Yes, you heard that right. He used the post. One day, McNair carefully slipped into a large mailbag. These weren't small canvas sacks. They were oversized, meant for huge quantities of industrial supplies and documents. McNair, using only his cunning and strategic thinking, managed to seal himself into the bag like a piece of luggage. From inside this makeshift cocoon, he waited, silent, motionless, as the bag was placed among dozens of others, fully integrated into the morning's shipment. The guards went through their usual checks, ensuring the mail was packaged and ready to go. But they weren't counting inmates. As absurd as it sounds, McNair was successfully carted out of the prison's heavily secured walls, all while hiding in plain sight. He had effectively become. Now, it wasn't as though McNair intended for someone else to unpack him at a post office. His plan didn't end there. He had been assigned to work in a prison factory, repairing mailbags. Now, to the average person, this might seem like a mundane job, a way to pass the endless hours of incarceration. But to McNair, it was a gateway. You see, the factory wasn't just where mailbags were repaired. It was also where pallets of outgoing mail were prepared tightly together, shrink-wrapped, and loaded onto trucks. McNair began watching and planning, biding his time. He wasn't going to dig tunnels or attempt a violent breakout. No, that would be far too expected. What he needed was a method that required stealth, patience, and creativity. And then it hit him. Over the course of several months, McNair began testing the system. He observed the routines, the guards, where they looked and where they didn't. Slowly, he formulated a plan that, while it seemed almost cartoon-like once outside the walls of the prison, would become one of the most ingenious escapes in modern history. Hours passed. The truck traveled down American highways, oblivious to its hidden passenger. And when the coast was clear, no guards, no secondary inspections, McNair used a small tool, smuggled in, to cut away the bag's material. Quietly, he slipped out of his cell of fabric and into the free world. He didn't make a grand dash. No alarms blared. Instead, McNair melted into the landscape, blending into society, seemingly without a trace. Part of the outgoing mail.